The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBank.
This is a very, very exciting bonus episode of The Real Pod. I'm quite nervous, I have to say. I'm Janie, joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve of The Spin-off, and also Art Green of The Bachelor fame / The Bachelorette host / all wonderful things. Welcome, Art.
Hey, thanks, guys. Great to be here.
You haven't been on this podcast before, have you?
No.
Matoodles.
I've been waiting for the call up.
You can't keep Matoodles off this podcast.
I know.
Actually, twice.
We've tried. But...
She just hangs outside the door, waiting to be called in.
First of all, congratulations on a number of things. Getting married.
Thank you.
Having a lovely baby. Well done on that.
Thanks.
He's just absolutely adorable. And also on bagging that coveted role of host of The Bachelorette.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been cool. I was really stoked to be asked to do it, and it was great. It was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed hosting. Yeah.
Past tense.
What's it like?
So it's you're all done. You're all wrapped now. It's all in the can.
We are. Yeah. It's in the can. It's in the bag. The bag is canned.
That's the terminology.
Yeah.
This is sort of for the insiders.
I have a really important question re-hosting one of these shows, and I realise it's still Warner Brothers, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Was that the question?
It's not on. No. I'm doing my research within the show. When it came to lunchtime, did you get to eat with the crew or the cast, or did you have to sit on your own and eat a sandwich on your own?
That is such a great question, because I found myself caught in this little grey area of like, hey, am I a cast member or am I a crew member?
This is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
We've had this conversation with Mike Puru.
So what I did was I did both. So I had like multiple meals, I was quite good at just like weaseling my way and just becoming friends with everyone. So I did both. I'd eat with the crew, and also the cast.
Was there a disparity in the quality of lunch, or are we talking about the same sort of
Nah,
level?
everyone had the same food. But
So you're just eating two lunches?
you know what? Food was better on my season when I was the Bachelor.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Not
way
for
better.
Mike Potter.
So
Well,
maybe
because
you
you
know
know
why MediaWorks is in trouble, because they just absolutely
Maybe.
poured it on.
Maybe. I tell you what, because what I did was they said, do you have any eating, requirements? And I was like, yeah, I'm paleo. And then they just, went out of their way to get me all of this amazing fresh food.
That's lovely.
Wow. Do you remember, whose season was it? Was it Geordie Porty's season where they had to trying to fish a chicken carcass out of the rubbish to feed the girls?
That was that season. Yeah, I think there
Was that real?
There was a
Yeah, we
chicken
reported
carcass
that.
taken out of the bin and then kind of wiped off and put back on the catering table, I believe. But that's all in the past.
That was when
Wow.
the loos got blocked and they ran out of water.
That's right. And I think they told,
It was heinous.
Wow.
Did you watch all of the seasons of The Bachelor after you were on it?
I watched, I watched most of them. Yeah.
I mean, there were only two.
I watched most of the episodes.
Okay.
I watched, I think I watched, Jordan's season. I watched, like probably the first half of it, and then we were overseas, and I found it a bit hard to watch. But I was having to also comment on that show for Women's Day, so I was like having to do a little bit of a recap on my thoughts of what had happened, and I think it got to the point where actually just asking someone from Women's Day to help me write them because I wasn't watching it.
But was that just because it was difficult or because it was horrible?
I found it hard watching Jordan because I found that I couldn't relate to him. And so I was like a little bit, I don't know, I guess it kind of just frustrated me that season.
Yeah.
It frustrated us all, Art.
Yeah.
Not just you.
Yeah.
It frustrated Jordan as well. No one came out of it good. Really.
Is there a Batch Nation type? Because I know, like in the States, all the contestants and leads have all like gone on to be friendly and kind of party together, and they're all each other's best mates. Is there a scene like that here?
Well, it's only like 3 of us, I guess, right? So it'd be a pretty lonely party.
Well.
But the contestants, I think, so after my season, all of the girls sort of grouped together, banded together, and hung out for a little while and held on to that because they all had that experience in common. And they also, I think, realized that they were stronger as a team in terms of their notoriety than they were individually. So I think that was quite an interesting little thing to come out of it. I noticed was they'd go along to events and band together as a group, and then me and Jordan and Zach, I don't know. I haven't really had much to do with Jordan at all. I think he's all over the show, but no, I mean all over the show geographically.
No,
you don't have to explain.
He's a Burning Man. He's always there.
He's a burner. And then Zach, I see him from time to time around at different things, and he's a great guy. So, but yeah.
Oh,
should we talk about the episode? I think that's
Let's
what the
get
people
into
want.
it. Should we just crash in?
We do it. Yeah.
Was it really cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was really cold.
It looked insanely cold.
Yeah, it was cold. And Lesina was wearing just a tight, a thin dress or whatever.
Yeah.
So she was freezing, and like her nose was running. She was like
the two nose runnings.
Were running.
Oh man!
Did you get stung by that? Was your nose like all good?
I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely fine. No, I had a tux, so I was warm.
It seemed cruel and unusual to make her. Was there any thought given to not having her exposed to the savage New Zealand element?
I mean, I think they just got really unlucky with the weather. It was a surprisingly cold and windy day.
When was this? Like what time frame are we talking about?
It was November. Was it November?
Can I just put?
Or was it
I put
October?
this to you.
Who's asking Jenny, by the way?
Emily.
Emily, sorry.
I would put it to production to do that, to postpone. I mean, probably can't afford it, whole schedule situation. But I found it kind of distracting how cold everyone was. Like, I was watching it feeling cold for them.
Yeah, I agree.
My nose started running.
I was
from LA. That's amazing.
I know.
You're so empathetic.
It was, and it was also really, really windy. And, I've got quite a fringe going, so I found it really annoying, just my hair blowing everywhere.
It was not working for me.
And then they just hairspray the shit out of it. And then what happens then is it just like flops around in this weird hairspray sort of flop going on. So I wasn't enjoying it.
Also, it wasn't at night. It was during the day, broad daylight, which I quite liked it being in all the elements. I feel like it's kind of a test. It's like man versus wild, daylight, wind.
Well, so interestingly, it takes ages to film that whole everyone arriving scene and for that episode, right? So they had to start it early because of daylight, and then it'll work in with that first cocktail party being in the evening and being at nighttime and all that sort of stuff leading on to the rose ceremony. But like with my season, they actually filmed that first arrival and cocktail party and rose ceremony over like 3 days.
Wow.
So they did the arrivals, and that was all like at night, and that looked all amazing with the fairy lights and all that sort of stuff. And then, it ended up being like filmed over 3 days because it just took so long to do everything.
In the US, they film it in the evening time, but then when they have the rose ceremony, the girls who go home go out and have their like post-ceremony interviews in the driveway, and it's dawn. Like they're literally up overnight filming.
Yeah. Yeah, our first one was till 5 a.m. on my season. But they were great doing this. Everyone got home at a reasonable hour.
That's crazy. What about the comparison? The first thing that struck me was in the flashback to your season, which was very emotional, I'm sure, for you too, to watch. The difference in the mansions. I won't talk shit about your season, but your mansion looks like a shed compared to this one.
We can talk shit about that. How about also this season? They get to go to Argentina, and I got to go to the Gold Coast. So,
love the Goldie.
How about we get a week in the Goldie, and go look at some koalas and stuff, and then they get to go to Argentina for a month. I'm like,
I have to admit, I have to confess that.
But yeah, the mansion was
When you guys went to Argentina, you were posting on your stories, and there was a lot of speculation in our Facebook group as to where you all were, and I did like a mega stalk and figured out you guys were in Argentina based on the someone spotted the brand that was on the background of the tennis courts, and that was an Argentinian brand, and then we went from there just like searching resorts that had tennis courts and so on, and we found where you were.
I saw that. I thought it was hilarious.
You're just not saying.
What do you mean you saw that?
I thought it was actually really impressive. I was like, man, that's like detective work.
How did you see? Are you in the corner? Are you secretly in the corner?
Me?
How did you see that? Yeah. Like, how did you? Because we talked about that in our private Facebook group.
I got sent a screenshot from someone about something.
We have a mole.
I knew about a couple of days after I posted that. Posted that story. Someone from Warner Brothers sent me a screenshot of some sort of something, and and I was like, oh wow, someone's an incredible detective.
Were you in trouble for that? Like
nah.
Because so I think I was to reveal that.
I mean, I was probably no. It's not okay to do that. I think I probably would have been in trouble if I'd stayed in a conversation with someone who was trying to tell me off. But I probably would have. I think I'd just like walk away from those conversations so that I don't get told off.
I want to know what happened to the plant that you adopted overseas, because you cannot bring that back across the border.
So Plantington.
That really threw us, I have to say.
Yeah. So I planned on I took him outside one day, right, and took him swimming and stuff, and he got really dehydrated because it was really hot in Argentina, and I got him back inside. He'd been outside for like 2 hours, and he was like wilted, like to death almost. But anyway, rehydrated him, he was fine. So my plan was to plant him outside when we left, but then I was like, no, I learned from that day of his exposure that he's definitely an inside plant. So I just left him in my room of my hotel for the next person.
That's a lot.
Did you have any
summer romance? JJ and Manu.
I know. It was sad. It was sad to say goodbye.
Who's Manu and who's JJ though? Because Art went home.
I think Art's JJ.
No, Art's Manu because Manu had to go home.
Because he went home.
Yeah,
he
JJ's
went home.
the plant.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm Manu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of plants, what's up with having a mole this season?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
interesting, eh?
Is that something that's been done before?
It's been done overseas somewhere.
They did it with the Australian one, remember? It was like her brother. The Bachelorette, her brother was in the mansion.
It's quite yuck.
That's rough.
Yeah, yeah. Bit incest.
So did Lesina and Daryl know each other prior, or did they just pick him up because they thought he'd be a good
No, I think
talent.
they just picked him up because they thought he'd be a good talent.
Yeah.
Don't you have a story about him, Jane?
I don't really have a story about him. I just know him.
How do you know him?
He does a lot of voiceover work.
He's got a great voice.
He used to flat with my ex-boyfriend.
He seems real moley. Like when you know that he's the mole, you're like, this guy's not like the other one.
He's 100% mole. You're right.
Show.
Moley is a great description of him.
He's got that mole eyebrow.
Let's talk about the guys.
Yeah, let's talk about the guys.
Also, before we get to the guys, when it was The Bachelor and there were female contestants, we had a male host, and then it was Bachelor and we had a male host, and then now we still have a male host. You get to bro down with the guys. It's like there's a lot of testosterone around.
Yeah.
There's apart from Lesina, she's only got you.
I know.
She hasn't got
Tough
that
luck.
sort of girl chat thing going on.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Although I mean,
no offense. I mean, I think you're a great casting choice.
Yeah. No. I totally know what you're saying. But I think it was actually quite good. Like we chatted heaps about all sorts of different stuff. And there were a lot of similarities between what I went through and what she was going through. But yeah, at the same time, it was also very different. I found that the way that this was filmed, I felt like they allowed for the way it was done. It was a lot more real, and like the conversations that the guys were having with Lesina and everything just felt a bit more natural than on my season, and I think that she got to know a lot of the guys a lot better than the amount that I got to know the girls on my season. So yeah, and I think also having me there with her just to talk about different bits and pieces I think helped a lot as well. I know that when I was on it, I didn't have anyone to talk to, like the crew.
Well, hang on, what about Mike?
Good old Mike.
Yeah, Mike was great.
Mike.
No, but yeah, I mean, Mike is great. He's a great guy, but he couldn't really help me through it.
He wasn't allowed to be. He had to have his sandwiches over in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
He used to steal my beers.
And you get your own camera, which is another gizmo.
Do you get paid extra for filming like large chunks of the season?
Yeah, you are actually
your crew and cast.
I am, eh?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No.
He's rethinking his contract.
If I get to do it again, I'll write it into the contract.
Was that difficult to do? Like, it's kind of...
Nah, it wasn't. You know what? It just reminded me of doing Instagram stories. And I think that's probably what they were going for, like that whole kind of vibe. So, yeah, it came quite naturally, I think.
I have so many questions to ask you about the guys, but I'm sure you're not able to answer them.
We can get some first impressions.
I can try.
Okay. So, who's there for Instagram?
I couldn't say who, but I could say I reckon there are like a couple. I thought there were going to be more. I thought it was going to be full of like Instagram fame-hungry gym heads, but most of them are actually really nice, good Kiwi guys.
But there are those pickup artists who are like openly part of the PUA community.
Yeah.
What do you reckon about them?
I mean, they make for good TV.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
That's true.
Are we naming names here or no? They seem like we're chucking out names, Doug?
Well, they outed themselves. I can't remember.
Glenn, I believe.
Glenn was one.
He's got
very tall. He's got Richie McCaw sort of style, straight up.
He does. Yeah. He's a very interesting guy.
And then there's the stripper guy.
Mark.
Mark's another.
Charlie Tier.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Mark rates himself. Liam rates himself.
Liam's good too.
Glenn. Yeah, I guess Glenn rates himself.
Who's someone we might not have picked from the first app who's going to show out in terms of the quality television stakes?
I'm trying to think. Okay, well, there's a bit of nudity that goes on. I probably can't say who.
You can't give away too much.
There's already been
I can't give away. But you
can't, because then it'll give away who's around long enough and so on. I want to know why we didn't see more of Steve in that first episode. Steve Masters. So he was wearing sort of like an oatmeal coloured jacket.
So why was it surprising?
I just feel like he was hardly in the episode.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like
it's hard because there are so many guys, right? They unless something really interesting happens with one of them, they kind of just like get left out of the episode.
Yeah.
It was. I felt real bad for the guys who like at least two of the guys who went home. Like I was a big clay head.
You're all about clay.
I wanted to mould him. And I thought he was cute, and he had his glasses thing, and he just got cut hard. And then and also, what was the Wanaka nudist guy?
Elliott.
He needed a better shot than that.
I mean, he
got a lot of airtime.
Oh, hang on.
A lot of airtime, but I wanted more.
Okay, so hang on. So Elliott went home, and he was the nudist, and he's not the source of the nudity on the season.
No, surprisingly,
I'm intrigued.
We know that Terrence gets his ass out. We've seen that already. He was one of the waiters.
Yeah. George had a lovely poem when he arrived. He had a lovely poem that Lesina didn't realise was a poem until he nearly finished it.
I don't think anyone actually realised it was
Jonathan
a poem.
arrived with Barry the dog.
That was a real marginal poem. Like, it was basically just speaking.
Yeah, it was speaking about what he'd just been through in the last day.
Very strange.
But the dog. I mean, I saw the dog and I was like, marry that man.
That's Mr. Wedge. We can't.
But the dog was cool. But Lesina is actually, she's afraid of dogs. So even little pugs.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's barely a dog.
I know, right?
It's just like a soft
That's
toy.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Did you get to meet little Barry up close?
Yeah.
I wondered what happened to him.
I mean,
Mr. Wedge didn't bring him into the mansion.
Yeah. It was, who bought the dog? Jonathan.
Jonathan Wedge.
Yeah. He would not have thought out of, oh, great, I've got a pug, I'm going to bring it along, this is going to be awesome, this is such a chick magnet. And then she brings it to the one girl who's afraid of dogs.
I really hope
sucks.
that they address her fear of dogs somewhere in the season, like they do the dog washing or dog walking or dog something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always dogs. So
dogs are everywhere.
That will make her vulnerable, and it gives her an opportunity to open up her heart to love, and really just bring those walls down.
God, I hope they do that too.
What about Brendan? He was first out the old vehicle,
this is the pilot.
juggling the old
Ferrero
Rochers that he was juggling.
Runny nose.
Can't
They
remember.
look like gold. They were little gold balls. They
Maybe.
looked light.
Made it clean again.
I just
Brendan.
Know.
Yeah. I
And
can't
then
remember what he was
nose
juggling,
debacle.
but what do you think your talents would be if you were to come out of the limousine or
I've thought about
the car?
this. We talked about this.
We have thought about this.
I would do. So you remember in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when Willy Wonka walks out of the factory for the first time, and they haven't seen him in years, and he walks out all decrepit with the cane for ages, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then he drops the cane and does a forward roll and goes, "Ta-da!"
I love that.
That's what I do.
That is so good.
Thank you very much.
So
That
you
means
get a
lot.
cane and you do that
I'd
whole
need
thing?
a cane. I'd need a top hat. Oh, I'd be in the full cosplay. Full cosplay.
So good.
Like
Which I
Uncle
actually
Drew
have.
style kind of extreme makeup.
Yeah.
Over
And then
kind
I'd
of
sort
thing.
of peel it all off. And then I'd be really mottled and yuck underneath it. And I'd go, hello. And then I'd go home like, Elliott.
No, straight away, just back into the car.
My only party trick is turning my eyelids inside out, and I feel like it's not gonna.
Oh, no.
it's not
It's
gonna
not
go
gonna
down
get
well with
done.
anyone.
They would go really badly.
You would make the promo though, I reckon, with that.
I would make the promo, but I don't. That's go home night one. That's not even make it in the door kind of stuff.
What about you, Dan?
Wasn't it?
I mean, I learned how to do the splits for the real pod, so I'd probably just do that.
Really?
Hang on, you
No.
didn't learn.
No, I really tried for about a week. And so I'd probably just do as much of them, give them a real good, honest Kiwi try,
Yeah.
and see how that went with them. It's
Well,
not
I
a
feel
long
like-
way down.
I feel like that's what old mate who did the breakdancing, that's what he did. Like, he doesn't really know how to breakdance that well, but he gave it a really good go.
No,
Yeah.
he's a funny
That
critter.
was-
Marcus.
He is. Hey, just back to Brendan quickly. So he's the one. Isn't he the one who said that he's not too worried about the Bachelorette side of things? But we said great, but just the road going there. If that led on to some other avenue, that's going to change my life a bit. That's great. Is it Brendan who wants Instagram fame?
Wait, who said that?
Brendan.
They were just like
Right.
protecting themselves, weren't they? Like just trying to be chill about it. They weren't. I didn't feel like it was very
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, I think he was protecting himself. Yeah. And
Okay.
he was a bit unsure of the whole thing, reluctant to really immerse himself and let go of into the whole show, So I think he was sort
Okay,
of,
well, why apply?
yeah, good question.
Are these people?
I don't know, he has a very chunky Instagram, Jane.
But
Not good.
No, exactly. But also, I think for a lot of the guys,
Anyway.
I mean, anyone who goes
Why
on that
am I
show, it
even
takes a while
asking?
to like ease into it and feel comfortable. And you,
Oh, we're having some technical issues.
Jane's
We're
just
technical.
yeah, a little bit.
No, you're back.
Hey, can I ask a question? Did Matoodles give you some Tavita intel based on her experience of him on HIS1?
yes, yeah, no, she did. Actually, not much intel. She was just like, yeah, he's a great guy.
So he's a great guy because he didn't
Yeah.
necessarily vibe great.
See,
guy.
I
He
know,
had huge-
that's
She
the
didn't stink
thing.
of it.
I know, like
Season one.
you think, hey, this guy's a bit of a dick, rates himself, and he's a lovely guy.
He's got a nice hair now.
A nice hair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah,
Curly
Yeah.
hair.
I think he got a perm for the show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like works for him.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of stuff you can't tell us, but what can you tell us? That is like.
Amazing
mean-
question.
Yeah. What can I?
I mean,
do?
last time we asked a bachelor to tell us something that they hadn't told anyone before. Geordie Porty told us that he flipped a coin and it made the news reverberated around the world. No pressure, but what have you got for us?
Well, yeah. What can I?
What
tell
might
you?
surprise people,
Something scandalizing.
Scandalizing.
or just a little bit interesting is fine.
No, but scandalizing's better. though.
I mean, it's so hard because it hasn't even, it's only been one episode. So I really can't say much at all.
But behind the gilded curtain, though, something that never makes it to television. Too hot for TV. Big censored stripe across it.
What we can do, what we did with Jordan is when he's
direct me some questions, and then I'll see what I can say. But I off the cuff, I'm like, I don't know what it's a bit tricky. It's like a deep pool of naughty things that I'm not allowed to say.
Okay, I've got a question. I have a question.
Yes.
Are you an anti-vaxxer?
Oh, great question. It's something that I'm not going to say.
Wow.
Yeah. No. I thought about this, and Maddie and I have talked about it. And it's just the issue is it's so polarizing, and it really annoys me that it's so polarizing. But either way, I think that we'll get into trouble if we say, people who are pro-vaccination will be like, if we said we are, if we said we wouldn't, then they'd agree with us, and if we said not, then they'll get angry at us. And same with anti-vaccination people, because they'll be like, well, then you're sitting a president, and you're, who are you to say this stuff? And so
that's actually
it's something
fair.
that I don't think it's fair to actually to say, and especially for Milo, I don't want to.
Let's put the question another way. If you were meeting a woman for the first time, is it the first thing you'd say to her?
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't. I couldn't believe that.
It was amazing.
It was incredible, wasn't it? Hey,
and it wasn't the last time.
You know what? It is such an interesting topic, the vaccination thing, because it actually is a thing where I don't think if you were gonna you probably do need to be on the same page as your partner with that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, your relationship probably wouldn't work if you're going to have kids.
Well, you could.
So I think he's just right, I'm just going to be straight out with it and be like, yeah, cool. No point in beating around the bush.
That's a deal breaker for him.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't care so much about climate change, though.
Amazing,
right? Really,
I know, totally.
Care about that.
Yeah. The planet? What planet? Who cares?
Yeah. I've got watermelons on my tie. I love it hot.
Let's talk about Connor's outfit. Shiny silver suit, lavender shirt, watermelon tie. I'm no fashionista, and I'm certainly not across what's cool in men's fashion.
Hey, don't downplay yourself
What would your review be on Connor's outfit from that first evening?
I thought it was fine, I mean, it's not what I would wear. And
you're such a diplomat.
I know. I mean, I don't really care too much, about fashion. I mean, he kind of just suited it. I don't know. He's like,
it definitely was an outfit. It definitely worked.
I mean, he was proud of it. He was proud of the tie. So let him roll with it. And maybe he's just not a very fashionable guy. So I guess he probably felt.
Think it's very fashionable.
Oh, I don't think it's very fashionable.
Okay.
But if he was happy with it, then that's cool. That's his fashion. Go him.
Who's your best mate of the cast? Going out the other end. Or pick a couple.
I reckon. I didn't really. You'll have to ask me this question again in a month's time.
Because you just got.
I thought that was going to break him.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to get some clues there.
No, yeah.
You have to assume whoever you're friendly with went a reasonable way through the show.
Yeah, exactly. So ask me in a month to a month and a half, and I'll have a solid answer.
Or
for you.
is it also about you don't want to you want to see how things develop?
I don't want to say I'm friends with someone who comes across like a dick on TV.
Or do you want to see it's early days? You don't want to be like, oh, this guy's my best mate, and then you find out that he, just some obnoxious habit of his, and he's got to go.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really know what he's like, right? I've only seen him on camera.
It's too early. Maybe. It's too early.
What about ripping off a shirt like Mark?
Oh, yeah.
You saw that in real life.
Yeah.
Now, I have never seen a shirt be ripped off like that. Is there a special kind of T-shirt for that?
I think it's a special shirt.
It's got to be a special shirt.
I was thinking the same thing. I reckon it's a special shirt.
It's it just comes apart. Maybe it's just brute strength. But
maybe
I feel
pre-torn, a little nick in the collar.
Yeah,
you could probably do it. But it looked to be an elasticy type, sort of easily rippable type material.
That really made a statement. And what I liked about Mark is that he committed for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Blazer over no shirt.
No.
Oh, what a look.
Yeah, he certainly rates himself. That guy.
Okay. I think there's a type of clothing that's tear-away clothing.
Right.
Okay.
Designed fit for purpose,
Merch idea.
You want to get a multi-pack.
Ripaways.
You can do it more than once.
Who had the best entrance then, in your opinion? You saw it all?
Oh, yeah, best entrance.
Aaron had the little hockey
Aaron had the
stick.
hockey thing. Would have been good if he didn't stuff it up. Like, he messed it up a little bit, and I was like, no, sorry.
I thought that catch was pretty...
He's like, and I got it.
Yeah, it was quite good.
It was at full stretch, you know.
Yeah, he was at full stretch.
What were your high school sports? Like all of them?
Yep, all of them.
First 11, first 15?
Yep.
You make me sick, honestly.
No, I wasn't. I played everything, but... Oh, hang on, we've got a
Have we got a
special...
surprise?
We got company?
What's the surprise?
Holy!
Oh my God.
What is
Holy
it?
cow.
Emily from TVZ has just walked back in with a new addition
For the museum.
for the Real Pod Museum. And we haven't even talked about
You
Sweetie
are
Quinn yet. It is
kidding me.
Quinn's stainless steel rose that he handcrafted for
They got him
Lesina.
the first impression rose.
This
Certainly
is
did.
history.
I feel like I would have vomit.
Yeah, I had a coughing fit.
That's sturdy.
Keep-
That, in the words
To
of
look
Dr.
at or for us
Lesina,
to keep.
that's
That's
craftsmanship.
for keeps, right? Is that for keeps?
Is this forever?
Forever?
Yeah, that's for
Ever?
keeps.
I mean, does that mean he doesn't win?
Hone?
Just
Take
be
a look at
careful.
that.
There's very sharp
You could
edges.
sell that at, like, for example, the garden party in Ponsonby for
it's really sharp.
upwards
Yeah.
of like $100.
This is
I
a
would
murder
say.
weapon in the wrong hands.
It's very good, though, isn't it?
Thank
Very-
you so much.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. Logan, the travel agent, also came in with a thing he called a rose, which looked
That thing was
Nothing like
that
a rose.
giant rose.
it looked kind of like something you'd see at Disneyland.
Oh, you know what? I tell you what one I liked the most, actually. Now that I look
The
back.
paper rose.
Paper Rose was hilarious because that just kept stuffing up because it was so windy. No, the best one was Jessie coming out with a little Polaroid camera.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was very
Oh,
clever
cute.
because everyone, no one's allowed phones and all that sort of stuff. And then he, takes the photo and then she will remember him, by that little photo. I thought it was quite clever. Yeah.
Look, I mean, I definitely think that we as a nation in the franchise need to work on our entrances a lot more.
Yeah.
I know that the US series have been going like many, many more years, but they are next level.
What do they
with
do?
Entrances. Oh, they'll just walk in. Do you not watch it?
I've missed the last every season.
What about the guy who
Wow.
sped in like a cupcake car?
Yeah, what was that to
It was
say? Like a little
Like a
mini...
huge
Well, they've moved
cupcake
on
that
from
is
there.
so fast. It just sped right up to her. It was like, hello.
A new season has just started of The Bachelor over here, and one woman came and just pashed him as she arrived.
Just straight up.
Wow.
Wow.
Laid one on him. They arrive on horses. Someone came in a suitcase.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Because he's a pilot, you see, so there was a lot of aviation themed arrivals.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if we started to do entrances like this just in every day? So you arrive at work,
Yes.
you arrive at parties, every day you just arrive doing crazy cool things.
I feel like Alex Casey does these sorts
Excuse
of
me?
entrances, not necessarily on purpose. But novelty entrances, I feel like that's,
incorporate
that's part of
it.
your repertoire.
You should
And
do
I like it.
do the Willy Wonka one.
I will. I will. I'm
tomorrow
gonna
when you
work
come
on
into
it.
Every
work.
I'm not
room.
confident in like doing a forward roll.
Yet.
Like I don't know when
Yet.
when was the last time you did a forward roll, Or you probably do them all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Forward roll from standing is quite.
Well, yeah, because you
Scary.
can't. It's straight down. Like
Yeah.
no hands.
Don't get your head into the ground.
I'll
Yeah,
start
but
practicing on a
remember,
tramp.
if you're all, it's fine if you're all bent over though, because you're halfway down there, right? I'm probably fine because I'm only 2'4", so I'm
Close to
fine.
the
I can do a
ground.
forward roll.
What I'd do
Yeah.
is I'd also put a soft yoga mat under the red carpet, I think, to give me a bit of cushioning. I haven't thought
So
about this at
you
all.
arrive before production,
Yeah.
lay down a yoga mat,
Slip it
they'll never know.
under.
I think going really confidently into a forward roll and then having it go disastrously
Yeah,
and then you're
yeah.
facing sort of 3/4 backwards. It's actually a cool variation.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a question. What
Yes.
happened with the stalker umbrella that you got sent just before Christmas?
Great question. I left it at Duncan's house. Have we
Yeah.
talked about this on the podcast?
Yeah, I think we kept it there because we didn't want you to have to think about it.
Someone out there might know. I received an umbrella as a Christmas gift that was left outside the spin-off door that had it wasn't a signed card. It just said something like "Good on you, girl" or something. And the umbrella was bright pink and it was spray painted with my name on it, sort of in a drippy. I'm not going to say.
It was like Ted
murder-like
Johnson for
way.
mayor kind of. this sort of vibe.
And I don't know who gave it to me. And I think you guys came in to do a podcast that day, and I was all rattled about it. So.
Yeah. I was rattled for you. I thought you were going to be murdered.
I appreciate that.
So,
well, I'm still
great to see you today.
Still
see that you're alive.
And now the umbrella's
I didn't even know about this.
So there you go. Yes, we don't know.
I remember at my old workplace, someone wrote the word slut on a car that was parked outside.
Whoa.
Oh my god!
In like drippy, bloody type. It was the kind of thing that you see on internet.
Wow.
You know, doing the round on the internet. And there it was, right before my eyes in real life.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Whose car was it?
Slightly off topic. I don't know. Was it Duncan? Was it outside Universal in Stables Lane?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Bloody hell.
That was an all-star lineup.
Can we talk about the cocktail parties? Were they a different dynamic to the ones that you experienced on your season? Was there a different vibe in the room? There were a lot of jugs of beer.
Yeah.
A lot of jugs of beer.
Yeah, the guys, was it a different dynamic?
Not an espresso martini in sight, I might add.
No, can you believe it?
No.
The guys, they definitely did some like drinking races. You know, at some point they had to be told not to drink so much.
Oh really? They got in trouble
times.
for.
Oh no, I think a few of them would just starting to get a little bit tipsy,
Bit laddish.
a bit laddish.
But doesn't that make for great television?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a double-edged sword, though. I think they want it to happen a little bit so that they create a bit of drama, but then as soon as it gets a little bit too messy, it looks really sloppy on camera, so they have to pull it back a little bit.
There was much less of the "can I steal you away?" Like I remember, like in your season, it was just like you were just being pulled in a million directions.
Yeah,
Lesina was like seemingly not even there.
In fact, she was having to go and pull people away herself.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's a bit of a Bachelor trope to just have, or Bachelorette have the contestants constantly vying for the attention of the lead.
There's definitely
and pissing off other contestants by taking their time.
There's definitely more of that as the season progresses.
Okay,
but I think it's just
also
early days, and the guys are still a bit nervous. I don't know how it works. I don't know if they're allowed to pull her away. They don't know how they do it.
In general,
I'm curious to know if there's tension, if there's some good drama between the blokes coming up, because again, it's part of what we're here for.
I know. There's so much drama. There's so many twists and turns.
Great.
There's stuff that you couldn't even imagine. Wow. I can't wait for some big things to be revealed, and you guys will just lose your gherkin over it. It's going to be fantastic.
I can't wait to lose my gherkin.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Same. And
this is how many nights a week?
Jane, let someone else have a bloody go.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. Sorry.
I know, we're all excited.
Yes.
In general, my big fear, I actually felt like the Bachelorette was unmakeable in New Zealand because we're a shy bunch as New Zealanders, and we've been churning through the menfolk on like the likes of Heartbreak Island, and just in general, like that we didn't have a deep enough talent pool to fill out a roster, and yet we've crushed it. Like, were you surprised that they got enough and the overall standard?
I actually wasn't like what I thought there were going to be more guys on it, like on your Heartbreak Islands, like your Instagram-y fame kind of guys. What they got is a really good, well-rounded group of guys, and they're guys that are even, like some of them are like really quite shy, and they just like come into their own, and they're like everyone just opens up and talks openly about their feelings, about love, and it's really, really cool to see. And people say like, "Oh, I didn't think this was going to happen." Like Kiwi blokes aren't like that. It's like, well, yeah, I think that I actually do think I wasn't surprised. Like I think that that's totally. Kiwi guys can do that, and there are lots out there that do, and I think it's really good to show that side of, Kiwi society, and to try and let people know that it's okay, and especially for young men to see that it's it's cool to talk about feelings and stuff like that. So, and I think they did a great job. I think these guys are like, some of them like even kind of like role models in that respect. I think so. It's really cool.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
No, it's cool.
I one piece of behaviour that I felt was the extreme opposite of being a good role model was when Kurt licked the sharp lid of the condensed milk tin in his his little pre-roll piece.
That's psychopathic behaviour.
That is crazy.
I know.
He could have, ripped
his tongue off.
Could have died.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but he could have like sliced himself open, gotten an infection. It was so cavalier, and to do that on camera, very irresponsible.
Oh, I know. No, that's insane.
I love Kurt.
Yeah.
Saying it on the record right now. Sweet Kurt.
I tell you what, his baking was incredible.
Oh, yeah, so you actually ate
Did
it.
you eat? What was
Yeah,
it?
I know. The voiceover was like, you won't eat that. I ate like 3 or 4 pieces. It was so good.
Were those paleo treats?
No, not at all. It was so good.
Is there like a jail for that if you break the...
Yeah.
Are you in trouble?
Yeah, there is.
Well, you have to do
Paleo
like
jail.
some cross yourself and do some holy communions or something.
Yeah, you do. And you just like bathe in hemp seeds. And it's pretty full on.
Is the jail called Jailio?
Oh!
Thank you.
Well done.
We're sort of running out of time, so I guess we just need to hand it over to you and just anything that you think that we really need to know. It's 3 nights a week, right?
It's
so
3 nights a week. Okay, so it's 3 nights a week for the first week. Then it's 4 nights a week for the next 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Then it's back to 3 nights a week. Just when you think,
Wow.
I can't handle 4 nights a week, this is too much, it'll go back to 3 for you.
Right.
It's read your mind.
Right.
Makes
The
so
show
much
knows you.
sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, oh God, it's just so exciting. I can't wait so we've got, first week and then second week. I mean, by the second week, you're already just, your mind's going to be blown.
My mind's blown because there are only 21 guys, which I know sounds like a lot, like if you're dating them all at once, but 3 of them have just gone home, so that's down to 18. And if my memory serves correctly, you get rid of a few a week. You're going to be dropping I feel like there's going to be intruders.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, Jane.
You don't have to say anything.
No, I couldn't.
You don't have to say anything at all. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, well, it's interesting speculation.
What if they're all moles? I'll do a shoey.
that Alex did a shoey.
I've already done one shoey today.
Alex wants to.
Why did you do a
wants
shoey?
to do shoeys.
Because I said that Lily was going to be the Bachelorette, and then the cornies were like, well, I said I'll do a shoey if she's not.
What did they do? What were they going to do?
And the cornies put the pressure on me. And I did one for the culture.
Hang on.
Yeah, what were they gonna do?
but Alex still maintains that she's going to be.
I still think that I'm right.
Oh, really? What?
I live in an alternate reality here, guys. And I did the shoey.
I want Art's take on the shoey. Have you still got it there?
I'm
shoe
wearing
with
my
which
shoes
you did the
now.
shoey?
Yes. So
Is this the shoes that you used?
I did it sort of in I disinfected this.
That's
and I poured it down sort of
not a
like
shoey.
this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not
Thank
shoey
you.
about it.
That's a sandally.
It's a
not a
slidey.
shoe.
It's a slidey, yeah.
But it's the same mechanism, right?
I mean, yeah.
No, because a shoey,
All you need is the laces in there.
you pour it in. It's like a cup.
Yeah, I thought it was like
you know?
a cup. Yeah, I was expecting an actual shoe.
You don't
I
have
have
to
to
pour
do
and
another
drink it.
one.
Yes, once
Yeah.
a week
You
until you
can't
get
watch
it
it.
I
right.
think so. Yeah, you need to be
Next week.
fined for trying to do it and do another one. So you need to do 2.
The tui.
Alex and Duncan, do you have anything else you'd like to put to Art before we wrap this up?
Just really happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Guys, I'm really happy
I'm
too.
happy too.
I'm really happy.
Guys, this is great. We're all
This
really
is a
happy.
great moment
It's
for
so
us. You know,
good.
it's 5 years ago we started this podcast essentially because of you
Wow.
and The Bachelor
Yes.
in 2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now it's all come full circle. You're back here as basically one of us now.
Yeah. As the Mike Peru.
Did
We
you
don't
ever
have a
listen to
sandwich
that
for you,
podcast
though.
back then?
So was that?
Did you ever listen to our podcast?
Yeah, I
I
listened.
know your wife did.
Nah, I listened to bits and pieces, like when Maddie was on it,
Okay.
and other interesting ones. I'm trying to think. What? No. Yeah,
All
good
the
save.
interesting ones.
Well, it's all
Yeah, almost too many of them, if I to tell the truth.
Back then it was called the Fantasy Suite in anticipation of Fantasy Suites, and then they didn't call it that. They called them overnight dates.
Well, I can let you know I'm pretty sure they call them fantasy suites on this.
Thank God.
Do they? Wait, are they called fantasy suites? I mean, if they do fantasy suites, and I presume that's what they might call them.
Well, they better do Fantasy
Do they have
Suites
a rose
or
for
overnight
the
dates.
final rose?
Oh, yeah.
Is that something we never quite got right in
Do they have
3
a rose?
tries?
They do. Yeah, there's totally a rose.
Wow, TVNZ,
all
big
the
budget.
mistakes
They've just
that
run
were
out
made
of
on the
roses
other
right at the
network are
end.
being fixed. I love it. I'm very excited. Thank you so much, Art. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your insight. I think it would be great to perhaps talk to you at the end of all this, and if you could just make notes between now and then of all the things that you want to tell us that you can't tell us now, that you will be able to tell us then, that would be
Some
great.
great
Do your
insight.
homework.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. It'd be fun.
Just like to say hi to Victor. Shout out to Victor who's behind you, Jane.
Hey, Victor.
This looks like a found footage horror movie where you're killed by a small man.
Or like that viral BBC clip. And this is just like the BBC.
Right, do you want to come and say hi on the microphone? You say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Victor.
Hi.
School's just finished. This is why I had to wrap up. This is my heart out. I've got to go look after my children.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you, Jane.
See you, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
Bye.
Thanks, Jane.
Bye.
See you, Kiwanis. Bye. Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, Senior Writer at The Spinoff. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Talofa lava. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spinoff. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spinoff member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spinoff Podcast Network.